Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're taking on some really high-level philosophical teachings, blueprints.
And some pretty dense research, for sure.
Exactly, and we're going to try and distill it all down. The goal is to give you the most potent insights for your week.
And this one is for anyone who feels that constant background hum of, information overload.
Or if you just feel consistently drained by everything going on externally, this deep dive is specifically for you.
That's right. Today we are stepping into a pretty profound philosophical framework. It's all designed for internal strength. We're analyzing the teachings of Ron W Rathbun, and we're focusing on how he defines and helps us cultivate what he calls inner wealth.
Right. And our mission here isn't just to summarize these ideas. We want to give you the mechanics of it. We're going to unpack the dynamic relationship between your mind, your energy, and what true value really is.
And how protecting that relationship is probably the definitive way to avoid that burnout and emotional drain that's just so common today.
It's an internal discipline, really. It's a blueprint for managing our personal life force.
Yeah. And it's much more than just abstract advice. It introduces a very specific, almost an economic model for self-preservation.
And the whole thing is held together by this one central concept, a unique term we really have to define first. We are talking about Kelee.
Which is the life energy itself. And understanding how to manage it, well, that's the key to this entire teaching.
So before we get into the economics of Kelee, let's start where the sources tell us everything begins.
In mind.
In the mind. Okay, so if we're looking at the fundamentals here, the first principle is it's the definition of self.
And it is, without a doubt, fundamentally internal.
So the teaching says your mind is inherently internal. It just cannot be something outside of you. So when we're talking about finding clarity or, making decisions that align with who you are,
the reflection point is always and only who you are to yourself.
it's designed for self-reference.
And that starting point provides immediate clarity. I mean, think about how often external things try to define you.
Your job, your relationships, your stuff.
Right. And the sources argue that when you really focus on knowing the difference between what's you and what isn't, all that noise just starts to fade.
It lets you be authentic no matter what's going on outside.
Yeah, exactly. It's essential for anyone trying to absorb new information or make a big change in their life.
We spend so much time gathering external data.
Yeah.
Reading all the articles, consulting all the experts.
But this material argues that the greatest asset isn't the data you collect. It's the internal clarity you have to actually process it.
Absolutely. The single most valuable thing you will gain in life is knowing yourself.
The teachings call this our unique identity, the signature of our life energy. It's that blueprint of who we are.
And the mind isn't just a container for that. It's the signature of our home.
That's a powerful metaphor, isn't it? The mind as the signature of our home.
It is. What does that imply in a practical sense?
Well, it means your mind is built to house only one occupant, you. It's not designed to permanently store the expectations of your neighbors or the worries from the news or what you think every acquaintance needs from you.
So if you view your mind as your most valuable real estate,
Then you immediately get why you have to be so selective about what you let in. And more importantly, what you allow to take up residency there.
and that focus on individual containment, it comes with a really appealing promise, doesn't it?
It does.
The source material is very clear that by being who you are, you bring something wondrous to this world that can come from no other place.
It's the ultimate argument against trying to live up to somebody else's reflection of you.
So if the mind is our home, we have to secure it. We have to power its foundation.
Which leads us directly into how we manage our internal resources. Because if we're constantly giving them away, that home gets empty pretty fast.
Right. And this brings us to the core economics of that life energy, the Kelee.
This is where the framework really challenges how most of us see our daily interactions.
We often think of certain things or activities as, recharging us.
But these teachings completely flip that idea on its head.
They establish this crucial core rule. Things take, mind gives.
This is the fundamental economic law of our internal system. You have to understand this distinction. Things take energy from us. They don't give it.
Okay, hold on. I have to challenge that a little. That's a huge idea, that things take. But if I spend an hour in a beautiful garden or, painting something, isn't that a thing that gives me energy back? It feels restorative.
That's a great point, and the distinction is so important. It lies in the source of the energy. When you feel joy while gardening, that joy isn't coming from the dirt or the plant itself.
Okay.
The source material is emphatic. only our mind, which is associated with our life force, can give energy to us.
So the gardening is just an experience that allows my internal energy to flow in a good way.
Precisely. The physical object, the garden, the canvas, is just the medium. It's the medium through which you are applying your internal energy, your Kelee.
So the good feeling comes from the quality of my internal focus, not the thing itself.
Exactly. We're talking about the Kelee, the life energy. The sources define it as the signature of who you are, the current that powers your home.
So the actionable instruction here for inner strength is to stay in mind.
Right. And the mechanics are really specific. It's not about ignoring the world. It's all about managing the flow.
You have to allow your life energy, the Kelee, to flow through you.
Serving the individual you. But, and this is critical, the command for self-preservation is that you must not extend your life energy, your Kelee, into the outside world.
It's a mandate for energetic self-containment.
Think of Kelee like a pressurized fluid in your core. You can let it pass through pipes, your actions, your experiences, but you can't let it leak out and pool somewhere else where it just gets lost.
We've all felt that, haven't we? The cost of those leaks. That exhaustion after a weekend worrying about someone else's problem.
Or obsessing over something on social media. That draining feeling is the physical proof of Kelee extension.
So we need to look at the mechanism of that loss. What happens when we break that rule and extend our Kelee?
We're moving our awareness outside of ourselves. And when we do that, we are literally giving away our focus.
Giving it to something else.
And that, according to the sources, is the exact moment we start to lose yourself by means of distraction.
So distraction isn't just wasted time, it's a measurable energy expense.
And the teachings point out where we often suffer the biggest expense. They say many people put more energy into the reflection of things than even people.
Chasing possessions or status, believing they'll give us energy back.
When in fact they constantly draw it out.
But then the material pivots and says the biggest distraction of all is often people.
Yeah, and not necessarily people we dislike, just people who distract us away from our own life.
That's a key nuance.
It is. When we obsessively worry about a friend's choices or analyze a public figure's motives or spend hours just projecting what others think of us,
We're extending our Kelee into their space.
we're trying to inhabit their reality, which is, like you said, impossible and draining.
It's a powerful lesson in internal boundaries. The sources have a hard rule for that, and it sounds almost countercultural today.
It does. It says, we are not here to explore other people's lives. We are here to experience our own.
There's a fundamental declaration of energetic independence.
And this is so crucial for you, the listener, especially if you deal with information overload. Every piece of news, every social interaction, every expectation requires you to extend a little piece of your Kelee to process it.
And if you're not filtering that through the secure boundary of your own mind.
You're just giving yourself away, bit by bit.
Okay, so we've established the need for containment, but this raises a big question for me. If I keep my Kelee contained, does that mean I become inert? Does internal strength just lead to social withdrawal?
Not at all. Actually, it's the opposite. It enables action without the cost. The source offers this powerful paradox. In the mind, you can do anything you want to in the outside world without losing yourself.
So the internal focus isn't a cage. It's more like a root system.
That's a perfect analogy. A tree that is deeply rooted, that's secure internally, can handle intense winds and still bear fruit.
But a tree with shallow roots, one that's spread its energy out looking for stability.
Gets uprooted by the first big storm. It's that exact mechanism.
By staying in mind, your actions flow from your secured Kelee, not as a desperate extension of it.
And your external actions become effective, sustainable, because they're powered by an internal source that's constantly replenishing itself.
Okay, so let's circle back to the central theme now that we understand containment. What does all this deep inner focus and protection of the Kelee actually mean when we talk about achieving wealth?
The teachings ground this definition in some really profound wisdom. They ask us to consider the ultimate trade-off, and it's captured perfectly in that timeless question. What profit a man to gain the whole world but lose his soul?
That's the foundation for redefining value right there.
We are so conditioned to equate wealth with external profit-gaining things, recognition, assets.
But this framework demands we look deeper. How do we find true wealth in our own mind, especially when it comes to the quality of our life?
That distinction is everything. True wealth, according to these teachings, isn't measured by the quality of things we have. True wealth is about the quality of how we feel within ourselves.
Are you secure? Are you joyful? Are you at peace?
That internal feeling is the only true measure of your riches.
Just think about that contrast for a second. You could achieve every external goal, the big job, the house, the perfect family. But if your internal state is just riddled with anxiety and dread and a fear of losing it all, are you really wealthy?
The sources would say absolutely not.
So the actionable step is to dedicate time, to practice spending more time in your individual Kelee.
Focusing that life energy inward. And this commitment shifts the source of your satisfaction entirely.
The promise the teaching makes is pretty incredible. It says you'll begin to experience a world within you that can offer you more riches than this world can ever give to you.
That's the ultimate payoff for this kind of internal discipline. It's an unlimited resource, and it's only available inside your own mind.
And what really stands out to me is the emphasis on individual ownership. We are the only ones who can decide our own value. Only we can decide the true wealth of our life energy.
No bank statement or social media post can measure the quality of that internal experience.
So, to synthesize this for you, the learner, we started by establishing the mind as our valuable home.
The signature of our life energy. Then we learned the critical economic rule. Things take energy, only our mind gives it.
And finally, we identified the practice protecting our focus, containing the Kelee as the path to defining value internally.
And that value is based on the quality of feeling, not the quality of things.
And when you achieve that alignment, that secure internal home, you get that initial promise. Being who you are brings something unique and wondrous to the world that can come from no other place.
It's the highest possible return on internal investment because the investment itself is what protects your ability to contribute anything at all.
But the framework offers one last final step, something that ties the mental home to our emotional state.
The ultimate instruction for securing and truly finding our internal home is this: open your mind to your heart.
We've spent this whole deep dive establishing the mind as our most valuable, secure home guarded by the Kelee. So the question for you to mull over now is, if the mind is our operational center for focus and clarity, what does it practically mean to use that rational mind to access the heart? And how does that integration ensure that the home we build will always mean something beautiful in your life?
Go deep on that one, and we'll catch you on the next dive.